Welcome to Novelty Notes Journaling. This is my Monday night class that I host every Monday night. Actually, it's Mondays. Monday afternoons is when I usually have this class. But tonight I'm bringing it to my She's Restored community. And I'm doing a fundraiser for my channel and my work. So if you feel blessed and inspired by this teaching tonight, I encourage you to visit my description box and go to any of my digital links for financial donations. Hope you all are doing well. Hope that November has started off wonderfully for you. This is the month of establishment. I know I said this before, but I'm going to share a word on that, probably this week actually. But tonight we are going to learn about the power of writing, the power of journaling, and the therapy of journaling. So those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Ruby and I am a therapeutic art life coach. I help people process mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical pain and trauma through the arts. And one of the ways I do this is through these classes. So I encourage you, if you're inspired by this class, to sign up for it. You can find me on my website every Monday, and it's only $5. Pretty good, reasonable price for a very good class. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And those of you that are watching on the replay, you can still donate if you feel led to donate. Just go to the description and you'll find all that information there. So, Novelty Notes Journaling. I call this Novelty Notes because every time we delve into the practice and the art of writing, we discover something new within ourselves. And journaling is a style of writing. It's a type of writing that is actually very personal to you. And I'm going to teach you a few things tonight. So this is an explorative class. And here I'm going to teach you how to scribe your story. Okay? So even if you're someone who doesn't really write, or maybe you've always wanted to learn how to write, this class is for you. And obviously if you're a writer, then this class is for you. But here in this class, every Monday, we delve into 4 areas: therapy, release, clarity, and meditation. And I'm going to get into these 4 tonight so you can know what they are. And I will also show you the basics of journaling and prepare you for your own writing and journaling experience. And yes, so those of you that are interested in any of my classes, I have a free consultation for any of my one-to-one sessions. So that's just a little bonus and highlight for you. Hi, welcome. Good to see y'all. Okay, so let's get started. So let's start with therapy. The reason journaling is a form of therapy is because it gives you a time and space to declutter your mind. This is especially helpful if you're someone who wrestles with a lot of mental overload. If you have anxiety and you have racing thoughts, a lot of times it's because you don't really have an outlet to release what you're thinking. And so this is perfect for you to let some of these thoughts out of your mind. So you can do your journaling at the start of your day, in the middle of your day, at the end of your day, or all of the above. It really just depends on you and what works for you. And there's a whole process to this because there's the decluttering stage, which is the first stage of writing. Essentially, you're letting the thoughts that are dominating or kind of taking over your mind at the moment that you write. And then you assess what you've written, and then you learn to discover, especially as you begin to do this as a practice, then you begin to discover some recurring themes and subjects and areas of your mental thought forms that actually point you to what it is that you are ruminating over for some of us, or maybe just some issues that you don't even realize you're dealing with, but when you see it on paper, it's, especially for those of us that are visual, it helps you to kind of look, it's almost like looking in the mirror. It helps you to see, oh, this is what is going on with me. So that this is why this can be a form of therapy, and it is a form of therapy. Release. So this is clearly, it's a release to write your thoughts down. And of course, we can incorporate other forms and other mediums to help you release what it is that you are struggling with mentally. And usually there is an emotional pour-in that comes from that. So it's just a beautiful way to release what's going on. And again, you can use other mediums. So you can use art, you can use music. A lot of times when I've done these sessions, and it's been a little bit that I've done this for myself, but a lot of times I do use music because music is also a form of therapy, and especially when you understand how you can use music to go back to old wounds in the soul, and really dig up some of those things that you've buried that perhaps you don't even realize that are still there. But when you put it together with writing, it's amazing, it's powerful. So clarity is our third area and realm that we find the benefit in journaling. So clarity, why? Because clarity, when I release, and especially the first stage of decluttering my mind, when I'm releasing these thoughts, I am making room to think more clearly, because I'm letting go of the excess of what's plaguing me mentally. And again, this is a process. So when I begin to learn how to do this, and I release and I declutter, and then I assess and I go back, and I do this continually, then I start to gain clarity. And really, it's more of a process. Then I start to gain the clarity that I'm looking for, and that'll help me bring a sense of peace and stability in my mind, which is vital for you to have clarity, so that you can then make decisions based on clarity and not confusion. Okay. And then the last area is meditation. So writing is a form of meditation, and it can be a form of meditation, especially when you do get to that stage where you've sort of been utilizing this as a form of therapy for yourself. And then you're able to use this journaling process to help you, perhaps with affirmations or whatever works for you, that you can write down to encourage yourself mentally. Okay, so that's kind of the overview of that. So I'm going to take us into a 5-minute journal. This is a very common practice with journaling, and it doesn't have to be 5 minutes. That's just kind of what it's called. So it can be 10 minutes, it can be 20 minutes, it can be as long or as short as you'd like. But the goal here is to give yourself literally some time and space for you to just write No agenda, no format, no structure. This is just for you to release what you're thinking or feeling in the moment, okay? So you can, like I said, you can do this in the morning when you wake up. And usually, actually in the morning, usually, I think this depends on probably what kind of person you are, because, you know, some of you work the graveyard shift, so for you, the morning is actually in the afternoon or evening. But essentially when you wake up, okay? So whatever that looks like for you. Usually in the morning is when our minds are, they're obviously rested because we've slept. Hopefully we've slept well. And that's a whole other area to get into, because if you do suffer with insomnia or sleep issues or anxiety or things like that, that can affect your sleep, which can obviously affect everything from your mood to your ability to think clearly the next day. So all of these things are kind of intertwined in this. So it's important for you to kind of assess your own personal, you know, where you are. But typically in the morning, or when you get up from your night sleep, your mind is rested. So it's had time to shut off essentially and reboot itself. So in the morning when you wake up, you usually be a little bit more, hopefully, like I said, a little more calm, clear-headed. This is actually good if you're an artist of any kind. Actually, the mornings when you wake up is the best time to release your creative ideas, if you're a visionary, or just in general to create, because you're fresh mentally and emotionally, and you have all the energy that you need for that day, and the inspiration is just naturally there. This is, I'm not sure, I can't explain the science of it, but this is just how it is. So that's an encouragement for you if you are creative. The mornings is your best time. But so in the mornings when you do this journaling, you probably will not have as much clutter. Unless you're just first starting to do this, then you might have just clutter from the night or days or weeks or months or years previous. So you'll likely have a space of writing where you're just kind of, you know, kind of maybe planning things or thinking about things that you would like to do, goals, things like that. But at the end of the day, you'll probably find you're going to be carrying everything that you just experienced for that day. So you'll probably have more to release later in the day or evening, whatever that looks like for you. But this 5-minute journaling practice is very, very therapeutic and healthy for you. And I encourage you to do it. This is a little different because I'm doing a live stream and I'm not really sure who's watching, or if you guys are watching now and you want to hop on the chat and let me know. But essentially, if you were doing a one-to-one session with me, this is a practice that I often use in my sessions just to kind of help you gauge where you're at and help me understand where you're at. But essentially what we would do is we would just quiet the room, obviously turn off your phone, anything that's going to distract you, and sit somewhere quietly, grab something to write with, something to write on, and just begin writing for 5 minutes if we were doing a session. And if you're doing it by yourself, obviously you can set a timer if you want, or you can just write and just let yourself write until you're done. The time limit really is more of establishing a practice. Okay, so when you're doing a new routine or a new practice, you have to set sort of boundaries to kind of help you get disciplined in what you're doing. But again, it doesn't necessarily have to be timed or limited in any way, shape, or form. And again, so this practice can just be any style, any form of writing. Now, if you're somebody that, you know, maybe you're more visual, You could even draw or sketch or something. It's really just whatever comes out as you're doing this, okay? A lot of times when I've done this, when I do this with my classes, I will usually write poetry. A lot of times that's just how my mind kind of releases stuff, is in or prose, you know, just in rhymes. So others of you are list makers, so maybe when you're doing this journaling practice, you'll just write, you know, little lists of things, or some of you will have a stream of consciousness where it's just all one thought, you're not even stopping when you're writing, and others of you may have time where you just write a couple of things and then pause. Okay, so there's no structure. This is very tailored to yourself and what you need to release. Let's see, so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. And again, this is my Novelty Notes Journaling overview of what this class is. And all week long, I'm going to be coming with my classes per day on this live stream for us. I'm doing this as a fundraiser and as an introduction for those of you who maybe are interested in my classes, but you don't really know what they're about, or what, you know, what you're going to get yourself into. So you can find this class every Monday on my website, which is listed in the description box. I believe I've listed this one for just $5, so it's very affordable, and it's a good class. I've had a lot of good feedback on this class. A lot of people just love it. So if this is interesting to you, I invite you next Monday to sign up for my class, and I have them listed per week, so you'll have plenty of time to book the class in advance. Again, this is a fundraiser all week long, so if you guys feel blessed by my channel, whether you're a new subscriber or you've been here for a long time with me, and you feel like you can donate financially, I would truly appreciate that. And everything's linked in the description box. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and give you about, I'm going to give you 3 minutes if you're watching this, just so that you can practice. We're going to do a 3-minute journal. So those of you that are watching on the replay, or if you're watching right now, grab something to write with, grab something to write on, or if you have a journal, that would be even better. And I want you to write for 3 minutes. And then I'm just gonna sit here. Usually I would turn off my camera and mute it so you're not distracted. But I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna write too. And then I'm gonna share what I write with you. And those of you that are in the chat or in the live stream, or if you're watching the replay, you can share whatever you'd like. But your time starts in 10 seconds for 3 minutes. Again, write whatever is on your heart. And we're calling this 3-minute journaling, starting now. Got about 45 seconds or so. Okay, time's up. So wrap up whatever you're writing. And then we can share for anyone who's wanting to share. So I essentially just wrote, hi everyone, welcome. Those who came while we were doing our 3-minute journaling. Good to see you, welcome. I kind of just wrote a stream of consciousness, what I was feeling and thinking right now. So I'm going to share that with y'all. And if we were in class right now, we could volunteer to share. Some prefer not to, some prefer to just kind of keep it to themselves, and that's okay. A lot of times it is therapeutic, especially in a class setting where you don't necessarily know everybody in the class. It can be therapeutic to share it because, well, no one really knows you there. But it's really just up to you. For those of you that are going to join my class later, this will be something that we do every week. But yeah, so I'm going to share mine. And this is what I wrote. This is the month of establishment, and I walk into it with a faith renewed and a gaze fixed. The journey has been long at times, exhausting at others, and amazing overall. I see myself with eyes filled with kingdom light and kingdom love. And all I can see is beautiful collision and perfect dreamy life and more. Yes, everything leading me here, and I'm thankful beyond words. So yeah, that's essentially a 3-minute journal, or our 3-minute journal, 5-minute journal, whatever it is for you. And again, remember that this is, in a sense, it's a snapshot of where you are in the moment. Okay, so your writing's going to vary even from time of day to time of day. So let's say you start your day and it starts out great and it's awesome, and then you run into a few snags throughout the day and you had a hard day at work. By the end of the day, you're going to be in a different mood. You're going to have more to talk about, okay? So this is really just for you to, in the moment, take some time and again, declutter and release it. And if you choose to do this as a practice, which I encourage you to do, then you will, especially if, you get yourself a journal, a proper one, and you journal, you write in it every day. You're going to find, when you're at the end of the book and you go back, you can actually see your growth and your progress. Or you can go back a few months and see, this is where I was back then, and look how much growth I've done in the last several months. So anyway, it's really awesome and really encouraging, and really helpful for you. So that's our class and our introduction to this class. I hope that I will see you guys on Monday. Again, everything's in my description, so if you're interested, you can book next week's class in my website link. And again, those of you that are interested in donating to the channel, please feel free to go to any of my links in the description and say a nice little thank you. I'd really appreciate it. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm coming back tomorrow with Soul Strengthening Sessions, which is actually a class that many of you are familiar with. I haven't done it in a while, but it is our Tuesday class. And I will be teaching you on the soul realm. I will be teaching you the inner healing journey and the basics of it. And by the way, I have our inner healing workshop coming up on November 12th, which is not tomorrow, but the following Tuesday. And that class is $17. I encourage you to please sign up for that class. It's an amazing class. I started teaching this 2 years ago, and I've had a lot of wonderful feedback for those who have taken it, because it's literally where I teach you the basics of the inner healing journey, so you can learn how to, go through it and begin your journey. And it's the foundation of everything that I teach in my one-to-one sessions and in my life coaching. So I encourage you to see me here tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. I'm planning to do these every night at 7. So tomorrow, soul strengthening sessions, and I hope I can see you guys then. Have a wonderful night. Hope everyone's doing well. I love you all so much, and have a great rest of the night. Talk to you soon. Bye.